It began one quiet morning on a movie set, under the glare of harsh studio lights. Lindsay Wagner, the actress once hailed as the Bionic Woman, suddenly felt the weight of exhaustion collapse over her like a curtain. Her co-stars thought she was simply tired, but there was something deeper, an invisible storm beneath her calm smile. For years she had carried the burden of fame, heartbreak, and the desperate search for inner peace. The woman who could outrun cars and leap over walls on screen was silently battling a force she could not conquer with strength alone. The relentless pressure to be perfect in a world that thrived on illusions. Her story began far from Hollywood's glitz and glamour. Lindsay Jean Wagner was born in Los Angeles, California, on June 22, 1949. But her childhood wasn't bathed in stardom. Raised in Portland, Oregon, after her parents' separation, she learned early the fragile balance between independence and longing for love. Her mother, a building contractor, instilled in her determination while her grandmother nurtured her creativity. Lindsay grew up fascinated by human emotion, the subtle flickers of pain, joy, and hope that she would later embody so vividly on screen. But even as a child, there was a sense of quiet depth about her, as though she already knew life's beauty would come hand in hand with sorrow. Her journey to fame was neither simple nor swift. Lindsay's early years were filled with rejection and uncertainty. She studied acting at the University of Oregon, but her restless heart pushed her toward Hollywood, where dreams and heartbreak coexist. Her first steps in the entertainment industry were humble: modeling gigs, small TV appearances, and even a few commercials. Casting directors often overlooked her gentle demeanor, calling her too soft, too introspective, or not glamorous enough. Yet, beneath her calm surface was an unshakable resilience. Lindsay was not a woman who chased fame. She was a woman who sought truth in art. Then came the role that would change everything. In 1975, Lindsay was cast as Jaime Summers, a tennis pro who becomes a cyborg after a near-fatal accident, in the TV series The $6 Million Man. The episode's success was electric, and audiences instantly fell in love with her warmth, vulnerability, and quiet strength. The network quickly spun off her character into her own show, The Bionic Woman. Overnight, Lindsay became a household name. Children adored her, adults admired her, and critics praised her as a rare blend of beauty and authenticity. But the price of sudden fame was high. Between grueling shooting schedules and the constant public spotlight, Lindsay began to feel her personal identity slipping away. Off camera, her love life mirrored the turbulence of her career. Lindsay married 4 times, each relationship filled with passion, hope, and heartbreak. Her first marriage to music publisher Alan Ryder ended as her fame began to rise, a casualty of the whirlwind that surrounded her. Later, she married actor Michael Brandon, but their union too fell apart under the strain of public attention. Despite her radiant smile in photographs, Lindsay often felt lonely, trapped between the image of the perfect television heroine and the flawed, searching woman she truly was. Love came and went, like fleeting scenes in a movie, but her longing for lasting connection remained. At the peak of her fame, Lindsay faced a devastating health crisis. Her body, exhausted from years of overwork, began to fail her. She suffered from chronic fatigue and depression, conditions the industry was slow to recognize. While others saw her as the unstoppable Bionic Woman, behind closed doors, she battled pain, isolation, and the haunting question of who she was beyond the camera lens. In those difficult years, she turned inward, exploring spirituality, meditation, and holistic healing, long before such practices were common in Hollywood. It was through this journey of self-discovery that Lindsay found her true purpose, not as an actress, but as a healer and teacher. Despite her struggles, Lindsay refused to fade away. The 1980s and 1990s saw her reinvent herself through television movies and guest appearances, proving her acting prowess extended far beyond her iconic role. She starred in emotional dramas that explored themes of loss, redemption, and human resilience. Off-screen, she became an advocate for emotional well-being, teaching others how to overcome trauma and rediscover inner peace. Her workshops and motivational talks touched countless lives. Unlike many stars who clung desperately to their past fame, Lindsay chose to evolve, transforming her pain into purpose. In the quiet years that followed, Lindsay's life took on a softer rhythm. She found fulfillment not in awards or cameras, but in the quiet moments, writing, painting, mentoring young actors, and continuing her work in personal development. Her compassion became her signature, her true legacy. She often said that the real power wasn't in being bionic, but in being human, learning to forgive, to heal, and to keep moving forward even when the world expects perfection. Her private photos from these years tell a different story from the glamorous press images of the 1970s. They show a woman at peace, sitting by a sunlit window, smiling gently as though she has finally made peace with her past. As time passed, the entertainment world changed, but Lindsay Wagner's influence endured. Fans still remember her as the gentle hero who defied stereotypes, blending strength with empathy. Younger generations, discovering her work through reruns and interviews, are captivated by her authenticity. In an industry often built on facades, Lindsay remains a symbol of sincerity and emotional truth. She didn't just play a bionic woman, she embodied the resilience of one. And now, as we look back on her remarkable journey, from the shy girl in Oregon to a global television icon, from heartbreak to healing, her story stands as a testament to courage and grace. Those private photos, once hidden from the world, capture not the perfection of a star, but the soul of a woman who dared to live on her own terms. Her beauty, once celebrated on posters and screens, has deepened into something timeless, the beauty of wisdom. So the next time you remember Lindsay Wagner, think not only of the woman who could run faster and jump higher, but of the woman who taught us that true strength is born from compassion. Her life is a quiet reminder that behind every legend is a beating heart, fragile yet fearless. Like the character she made immortal, Lindsay reminds us that even when we break, we can rebuild, stronger, wiser, and infinitely human. If Lindsay Wagner's story moved you, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Her journey reminds us that no matter how hard life becomes, there's always a way to rise again, with grace, with courage, and with heart.